3.
Was that good?
Welcome to the last of the good old boys with Blaine Young. Of course, always joining me to my left, but
Billy
he should
Shreve.
be to my right, is my partner and sidekick, Billy. Well, we call him Billy Spike Shreve, Billy Tripod Shreve. I've heard him called Billy Rudder Shreve, but Billy Shreve, the one and only.
Well, welcome.
So we're back here at Studio 401, North Market Street. You can always stop in. We're live. Randy G is not wired in yet, but if you want to go to the chat box, you can always go to the chat box with questions, comments, all that good stuff. But tonight, our first guest, our inaugural guest, Billy, as last week it was kind of our inaugural show of what we're going to talk about, what we're going to do. A little bit of infotainment as we stir the pot. County Councilman District 5, Mason Carter. Mason, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's always great to see you too.
So now, you know this used to be a liquor store, right?
I do not. No.
This was Victorian Spirits.
Was that before he was born?
Well, I only asked him that is because I didn't know if we needed to card him to be on the show.
I was going to say.
Are you over 21?
I am. I turned 21 in April.
Excellent.
21 in April. So let's talk a little bit about your journey. Number one is, to our knowledge, you've got to be the youngest person ever to hold that seat, county office. I don't know. How old were you when you were elected? You were 17 and turned 18 when you were sworn in or something like that, right?
Correct. So I filed to run for office when I was 17 years old. And by the time the election rolled around, I turned 18. Really, it was a great time and a huge learning experience. I'll tell you that. Huge learning curve. However, just because of the great people here in Frederick County that afforded me the opportunity to do this. And I will tell you, I am the youngest person to hold a county council related office in the state of Maryland. Not the youngest in Maryland. I found out I actually had got to meet Mr. Burrows, who was elected in Prince George's County at the age of 18 and fewer months than I was.
Wow. So did you actually file to run for office before or after you graduated?
It was, it's funny you ask. I filed to run for office the summer going into my senior year of high school.
So you were not even a senior?
No. Nope.
So what happened there? I mean, how do you go from being a junior in high school to saying, hey, I got to do something. I'm running for office?
Yeah. So what had happened was I had began writing for a newspaper called the Woodsboro Walkersville Times when I was in high school, during my junior year of high school. And I got the opportunity to write and manage the government affairs section of that newspaper. And so it was during those experiences that I got a real close look into Frederick County government and the associated nonprofits, businesses, you name it. And it was during that process when I was interviewing interviewing council members, interviewing former council members, including yourself, Billy.
I remember.
That I learned a lot about the government and how inefficient it was. And it was from that point on where I really had this interest in making our government work better for the people.
So first of all, county council is a full-time job, right? I mean, you all have made it into what's it pay?
So it is currently a part-time job, but if you do it the right way, it's really full-time.
Well, they say that with every position. I don't care if you're running for like town commissioner in Woodsboro.
Right.
But I mean, it's classified as a part-time job.
Correct.
But what's the compensation?
It pays $35,000 per year, and because the current council had voted in favor of a pay increase, that will go to $36,500 after the next council is sworn in, and after their second year at their midterm point, that'll go up to $38,000.
And do you get benefits?
Might I did not vote for that.
Do you get benefits?
We do not.
Okay.
So you just get the money, you don't get the benefits.
Correct.
But still, man, you're 21 years old. $35,000. That's all right. I mean, you ain't making that at a venture park or working. You're going to school, aren't you?
I am. I graduated from the Frederick Community College in December, and I am enrolling. I'm in the University of Maryland Global Campus currently. Might I add, just before we move on, I did not run for office for the money.
I didn't say you did, but man, that's not
I
bad.
got to cover my bases.
So wait a minute.
Billy, what'd you make at 21? Well, first of all, not even 21, 18.
I had 4 jobs. I remember I got my first paycheck, and I worked like 40 hours in the summer, right? Working construction, and I made like $100 or something. And I looked at it, the total, and then the net, and I'm like, who took all my money? And that's when I learned all about the government and said, one day I'm going to fix this.
That we call that a Billyism. So that's called a segue. How much at 18 years of age, Billy? How much did you make? I mean, now again, we're a lot older. We're going back 30 some years ago. But still, like that's a nice
12,000, something like that.
That's a nice, that's a nice gig, right?
Is this your first job?
No, it was not. I worked at a grocery store in high school before.
What grocery store?
Wegmans Food Market right here in Frederick.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What'd you do there?
So I was a cashier to begin, and then I realized that I really did not like being a cashier, so I moved over to produce. And from there on, I learned a lot of good work ethic. I had some very, very great managers, great people that worked there. Wegmans treats their people very well. I have a lot of respect for the people there. And I think really it was a great learning experience. A lot of good knowledge I learned from there.
Day shift or night shift?
Typically it was in the evening.
Okay. Well, you missed the day shift. The mom's in the yoga pants, man. Yoga pants. That's where you got to work day shift if you're at Wegmans. So night shift, evening, I guess you classify.
Right. I mean, it wasn't very nights. We produce and the departments in Wegmans close at 9 p.m. And as a high schooler, I was capped at how much I could work and my shift lengths. So I really could only work 5 to 9 most weekdays. And then on the weekends, I had a little more leniency.
All right. So, and then I guess re-election's not that far away, right?
No, it is not. Thanks for asking. I filed to run for one more term on the county council. We have a lot of momentum right now. I'm blessed to really have the support of most of the party. And again, really think about it. Where other than Frederick County can someone who knew nobody, had no connections, really didn't raise a whole lot of money, where can they run a grassroots campaign other than Frederick County and get elected right out of high school?
So how much did you raise your first campaign?
I think at the primary, before the primary, I raised around $8,000 or $8,200.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and then throughout the general, including what I raised in the primary, I raised just around $26,000.
So you have filed for re-election.
I have. Yep.
And right now, I think you had a primary challenger that dropped out.
That's correct.
Another young individual, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you have someone, I think today in the paper, a filmmaker filed in the Democratic side to run against you, correct?
That's correct.
So do you think that you're going to have a uncontested primary, or are there rumblings of people that are going to try to contest you?
I haven't heard anything, and I don't know if I would expect so, but if I've learned anything in my short time in government, it is to expect the unexpected. Nothing is a sure thing until the final moment, right?
Yep.
Or when I played basketball growing up, the game wasn't over till the clock hit 0.
Yeah.
I would really ask for that, our party, to come together for the common good, for the greater good. We have a chance, really. The Republican Party has a chance to take back a number of seats on our county council, and I would hope that our minds are looking at picking up these different seats, and so we can really make a real difference for the things that matter most. When we think about supporting law enforcement, supporting education, getting our government budget back in shape, and we are all over the place, and it's going to take some really good fiscal conservatives to do that.
So I want to get into a little bit about what's going on there at the county level. I know you are looking at a shortfall, but when you say some seats could be taken back, who exactly, where do you want to start? So at large, right? Mm-hmm. You've got Brad Young, my brother.
Yep.
And who's the other person? I apologize.
Miss Renee Knapp.
That's right, Renee Knapp.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel that one or both of those seats are opportunities, or what? What seats do you think that you can win?
Well, I really think that with the right candidate, the right messaging, and the effort, any seat is takeable, any seat at all. We've seen this all across the country, in Frederick County as well, where races that we thought a certain party had no shot in, absolutely zero shot in, turned and surprised everybody. Right? I mean, you even look at my race. I will admit,
you have the safest seat there is for a Republican.
Well, I would say not a lot of people thought that I would beat the sitting council vice president who is 60 couple years old and ran a very successful business. But it took a candidate that was willing to do the work with the right messaging to win. And we can see that all across our county in different seats, whether that's at large, whether that's District 1, that is a vacant seat now. There's no incumbent with Jerry Donald being term limited. District 3 in the city, term limited, open seat. With a big time.
Are you talking about MC Keegan Air?
Correct. There's a big time Democratic primary. There's going to be a lot of money spent in that primary, which is not going to leave very much in the general.
I would tell you that your seat obviously is the safest Republican seat. Jerry Donald, which is District 2, I believe, correct?
District
1. There's an opportunity there.
Middletown's pretty conservative.
Mm-hmm. But he safely won that seat against Ellen Bartlett, and
I
then
would say safely won that seat.
Well, I'm just saying, it was a shock that he won that seat and in re-election, and I can't remember exactly who it was against in re-election. Was it Kevin Grubbs?
It was Kevin Grubb, correct?
Yeah,
and so there's an opportunity there without question because he did squeak by both times. Mm-hmm. But he won. He won. They don't care. One vote's a victory. Nobody wins if it remembers if it's 1 or 10,000.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But I do think
how much does it cost to file?
It's a $25 filing fee.
Yeah. So anyone can get in there.
Absolutely.
But I'm just saying I think that it will be extremely challenged for a Republican to win the seat that MC Keegan Air is.
The city.
And it's very challenged. I don't think anyone's beaten Cavante Duckett. I'm biased a little bit. Cavante's a friend. You're a friend, Mason. But
absolutely.
And then, at
what do you think
large,
Brad Young. You think someone would take him out?
I think that's a tough one
to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Brad's done anything that made anyone upset. I mean, he's got to be taking more selfies in the history of selfies.
Hey, if it comes down to selfies, I mean, Brad could
with people though. People are involved.
So he's not just taking them of himself.
No, there's people involved.
He's got other people involved.
And then who am I missing? Of course, you have
Steve McKay,
which is a Republican seat.
Yeah. So what's happening out there? That New Market, Urbana district. Yeah, what's happening out there?
So Steve McKay made the news. I guess at this point, probably was a month ago now, a few weeks ago. He announced that he will not be running for re-election. And so since then, we've had a few people file to include Kai Burhans, who is the
correct.
Who is the chair of the Frederick County Young Republicans, very involved. He was also on the board of the Frederick County Republican Club. So a very good guy, party guy. His father is the mayor of Newmarket, who has years and years of experience and knowledge. And I would think that that Kai has soaked all that up.
I think that Kai's dad, Mayor Burhans, has been mayor longer than Putin has been president of Russia.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, that guy is been mayor a long time.
Yeah.
8 terms, 7 terms?
I believe it's been 20 or so years. I'll tell you, when I spoke to Kai one time, he had showed me a picture of his father being sworn in, hand on the Bible, with Sandy Dalton next to him, by the way, and Kai in his arms. So a very, very interesting picture. And if Kai is to win and be sworn in by Sandy Dalton, it'll be a very nice picture to pull out.
So,
you think his dad will be able to hold him up now?
Winslow Burhans, right? I can't remember the first name. So, and then of course, Winslow's what would have been his father or grandfather was mayor of Hagerstown,
correct?
And also a state senator over there.
Yes, and they have a room dedicated to him.
If you did not know,
in the Hagerstown Town Hall, a very nice room.
The question is, you just turned 21 in April.
Yep.
Have you been in every establishment on Market Street?
I've been in a few. Certain bartenders know my name. I don't know what that may mean. But I love to support our local economy, our local bartenders and our bars. Okay. We have some very great restaurants that serve some very good drinks. I like to support them. So
we're going to get into a few issues here. I do want to tell everyone that you're tuning in to a new podcast here at Studio 401 in downtown Frederick. We are live on Wednesdays from 6 to 7. Sometimes Randy G joins us. Tonight he's producing until we could get him maybe up and going. He's a good pot stirrer. I like that guy. He stirs the pot. But you got to be willing to lick that spoon when you stir that pot, Billy. So,
Keep
Billy,
the spoon away from me.
Billy Shreve's here. We're going to be talking entertainment, politics, all things local, but we will dab and put our toe into state and national issues. Talking to Mason Carter, who is a county councilman for District 5, who is seeking re-election. Want to dive into some county issues, data centers. First of all, for those that don't know, what is a data center?
So you can think of a data center as a large warehouse that stores computers.
Okay. Servers.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you say a large warehouse, what are we talking about here? Like, I think some people are familiar with the Costco warehouse off of Route 70. I mean, how many square feet are we talking about for a data center?
I'll tell the people that are listening at home, think of what you think is big and then double it. I mean, these are huge buildings, larger than the Costco warehouse.
How many football fields, 10, 20?
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Okay.
They're
that big.
Absolutely. If you've gone to Hagerstown recently, there's a big Amazon building up that way. And it is probably similar in size and scope to that building out there.
Okay. So what's going on with these data centers? Obviously, they're coming before Frederick County. Coming before the city, I hear. I mean, people are looking for places to build data centers.
Correct. This is a very hot market right now. This industry is coming in and looking to spend, millions and billions of dollars to invest in different jurisdictions, to include Frederick County. I will say that we need to be very careful with this issue. Very careful with this issue. Data centers they're unique, they're different, they're complex. It's really not comparable to probably any other industry that we've seen in Frederick County and Maryland across the country. And so we have to be very careful as to how we move forward with that. We don't want to make the same mistakes that Northern Virginia did. Northern Virginia, they saw the money, and rightfully so. They welcomed the industry into Northern Virginia, into Loudoun County. But what they didn't do is they didn't put up the necessary guardrails. Any zoning type, anywhere, anytime, they allowed data center development. It didn't matter if it was congruent with the surrounding area. They didn't matter proximity to different uses. And these are all things that we right now are considering. We're making sure that we're not using Northern Virginia and Loudoun County as a guide, but a warning.
Well, if they're big warehouses, what's the downside? Because they're just paying a lot of taxes.
Correct, and that is certainly an upside, and the benefit is that we're looking at $150 million to $200 million per year in revenue, which is not even considering inflation, by the way. But the main concern with the Adamstown area is that the overlay that we established is all concentrated in that one area. There are certain concerns about how much noise data centers make, the vibration, what that may do to the water supply, how much power it takes. And these are all very valid concerns. All very valid concerns that we are considering. These concerns do not fall on deaf ears. We want to make sure that we're doing this right. We're going to do it. And we want to make sure that if they're going to come here, that the people of Frederick County are benefiting.
So how many kids do those data centers put in the schools?
That's a great question. And I'm happy to say that 0 kids come from data centers. Very little traffic come from data centers. So these are not going to be impacting our schools. They're not going to be overcrowding our roads.
So no traffic, basically, impact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing into the schools. Unless I'm mistaken, isn't the water, your on-plan service, isn't that an enterprise fund? So you actually need, with the capacity that's been built out, you need more users?
So the idea is that people are concerned about the amount of water that it uses. And you bring up a great point. Yes, the water that the data centers are using, they're paying for, right? So they don't want to use too much water, because that's a very large bill. I mean, look at. I'm sure that there are people here watching today that can think of their water bill. People don't want to use far too much water, but they're doing reclaimed water at these data centers. So they're going through the cycle, sent back to the treatment plant, and sent right back. So they're using the same water. They're not taking this massive supply.
So it's similar to like the water in your car, the antifreeze in your car.
Correct.
It goes through, picks up the heat from the computers, and then goes out to an area where the water's cooled, and then comes back in. So it circulates.
Yeah, it would be gray water. Would be another term, correct?
Right. And this wouldn't be potable water either. This is, like you said, gray water that's being reused and recycled.
Yep. So here's what I'm trying to understand. I see that the county executives come out, said that you've got some budget issues.
Yep.
Well, one of the issues that we're pointing out is housing's down. Housing permits are down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the number one thing I hear people always complain about is housing permits. Mm-hmm. They'll say, don't build more houses. The roads can't take it. The schools can't take it. Well, if we're not going to build houses and we're not going to build data centers, what are we going to build? I mean, because if we don't build anything, then the only way for you to get additional revenue is for more people to pay more taxes.
Mm-hmm. So to raise taxes.
Correct. And that's not what we're going to do. This council has already, behind you, raised taxes once. That was not last, but the one prior.
Did you vote for that?
I voted against it. I was one of 3 people to vote against that tax increase. I think it was terrible, absolutely terrible. I'm reminded every time we talk about taxes and the idea or the process of raising taxes, I'm reminded of the Alice report. That's the asset limited income constraint employed, which 33% of Frederick County is considered Alice, meaning that they cannot afford, at the current tax rate, at the current cost of living, they cannot afford the basic cost of living to include housing, transportation, healthcare, you name it. They can't afford it. And we're looking to increase the burden on those folks. It's really wrong. It's really wrong what we're doing.
How much did the tax rate go up?
It went up by 5 cents. It went up from $1.06 per $100 assessed value to $1.11 per $100 assessed value.
So about 4.5%.
Right, and then include in that the increase in assessment that you're seeing year over year. So you can really add another 10% per year. And of course, if you have the tax credit, that's capped at 5%. So even then, it's a 9% increase in your taxes. That's not something to scoff at, especially when so many people in our county are living paycheck to paycheck.
Well, but what'd you say, 33%?
Correct.
Do you believe that? Mm-hmm. You do?
I do.
I mean, Frederick County is a pretty wealthy county.
Absolutely is. But because Frederick County is wealthy, the cost of living is that much more expensive. And a lot of those folks, our Alice folks, are concentrated up in the northern part of the county, in Emmitsburg and Thurmont. I cannot say how many doors I've knocked on and talked to people about the cost of living in Frederick County and how they really just can't keep up. They cannot keep up.
So to close out on data centers, what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen, but I want to hear what you think is going to happen. And Billy, you can chime in.
Well, what will happen is that on the 16th, we'll hold a public hearing. We'll hear the concerns and the suggestions, the questions from the people, mostly concentrated in Adamstown, about what areas and properties they believe should be placed in this overlay that would be eligible for data center development. And then the following week, we will be voting on it. So, but as far as how that vote will go, I have no idea. Again, I've been surprised before, and I'll be surprised again. So I don't want to jump the gun and tell you how the vote's going to go. I personally don't even know how my vote's going to go. I have no idea how I'm going to be voting. I have no idea which properties I think should be included, and I certainly can't commit to anything.
Are there any data centers being proposed in your district?
There are not. The overlay is only concentrated in the Adamstown area, in and around the East Alco area, other than the 2 small data centers that are in Urbana that were built a number of years ago.
Yeah, we approved them.
Yep.
And no one even came out and said anything about them. No. Social Security Administration was one of them. Yep.
So basically, you have a vote, but the vote does not impact, even though it impacts Frederick County, it doesn't impact the people you represent in your district.
Not directly, no, sir. But it will certainly benefit if these are approved. The sheer amount of money that's going to come into our budget, which again, we estimate somewhere between $150 million and $200 million, which can be spent on all the things that we can't fund. And it could even fund a tax decrease. So it's not about what we can spend it on. It's also what we don't spend it on, right?
So what's the budget right now? Is it $1 billion yet?
We just went over $1 billion this fiscal year.
So $150 million in income would be about 15% increase in revenue.
So here's how I'm going to say this is going to go. Those that could be impacted by election results will hem, haw, make amendments, may even get scared and vote no. But once the election, if it doesn't pass before the election, it's going to pass after the election. It's a no-brainer. I mean, do I agree that you need to put things in place to safeguard that? As Billy said, we approved 2 data centers. Nobody even realized it. Now it's become the next hot topic.
If I will jump in, there is a large difference between the data centers that are currently built in Atlanta and the ones that are being proposed at the East Alco site. These are hyperscale, so they're much larger, much bigger, use more power, more water, you name it. They maybe make a little more noise. The generating is a little different.
But, I mean, when you think that East Alco was there.
Correct.
When Earl Robbins ran the place. Mm-hmm. Everyone complained about what they were making, what they were doing to contamination of the soil, the water. Then it became Alcoa. And eventually they shut the plant down, did all the cleanup. There was actually a proposal at one time to bring it to us to create residential, which people went berserk about.
Yeah.
Berserk. Now there's another proposal for them to get a user on there with a data center that'll contribute, $150 million you're saying to the taxable base?
Right. And think about what that property was doing through the time that East Alco closed and to today.
Yeah.
It was laying empty, generating $0. Well, it's generating some money, but not nearly any money compared to what we project. And mind you, East Alco closed in, I believe, 2005.
Yeah.
How many jobs are the proposed data centers bringing to this area?
Because these are mostly computers, they're not going to be a lot of jobs created inside the building, but based on maintenance, the construction phase, which will take a long time, by the way. These construction jobs are not going away anytime soon. Your pipe fitters, your electricians, your HVAC. We're creating a lot of local jobs through local unions like IBEW, local pipe fitters. And there's some people that grew up with me. I'll tell you a quick little story. The IBEW has come in and that's the electric union. They have came and testified a number of times before the council in favor of the data center overlay and including certain properties into that overlay. It was not what I heard from their testimony, but what I saw. Behind the dais, looking out into the gallery, the folks that were there, a lot of the IBEW wearing their union blue shirts. I happened to see a classmate of mine out in the gallery, one that probably was not heading on the right page when I knew him back in middle school, back in high school. Someone that I thought could possibly get himself in a whole lot of trouble and maybe not be super productive. But there was an opportunity for him in the IBEW. There was a trade to learn. And since then, he's become a union electrician. He's going to be working on these data centers, making a whole bunch of money, by the way. And so that's just one example of local people who we all know, maybe live across the street from, went to school with, played sports with, that are benefiting from this industry being here and making a career out of it.
So he was saved by the Brotherhood, literally. International Brotherhood.
Mason makes screwing up sound so nice.
Well, look, there's always an opportunity.
That's right. Gotta give grace.
Opportunity. There's always a second chance. Yeah.
Not everyone goes to college.
No,
you don't have to. You don't have to. That's. I don't want to get off on a different issue, but that's the problem with our education system. Not only in Frederick County, not only in Maryland, not only in this country, but it's this idea that you have to go to college. The idea that FCPS focuses far too much on the idea that every student has to prepare themselves in high school for college. College is not for everybody.
Right.
Let the individual I just talked about be that example.
Well,
absolutely. That's a good one.
I agree that college isn't for everybody, but they should also prepare you because I'm sure that person that went to be an electrician had to take a test, correct?
Absolutely.
So they would need some of the skill sets that they learned in school to be able to become licensed or certified. I'm all about the trades. But, you know, I'm also all about that if you want to own and operate your own business, that if you didn't take business math in high school, which I don't even think they offer anymore, then you may want to get a 2-year degree in how to own and operate your business at FCC, or take classes, accounting, whatever they are. You know, I'm real careful when I say college isn't for everyone, and I do agree with that. But I tell you right now, I've never gone to a party where someone said, yeah, my kid failed out or dropped out. We're having a party. Usually they have a party when they get a degree. Yep. So no one's, hey, you want to come on over? My kid just failed out. We're having a dropout party. But you can also have a party for someone that gets a license, whether it's a plumber, electrician, auto mechanic, some type of certification in IT. But, you know, that we do have to prepare those. But I'm also about entrepreneurs, and hopefully that the school system are preparing our kids that want to be a business owner one day. Because you can't just have all major companies owning everything.
Right.
And so it's a balance, but I completely understand. It shouldn't be looked at as the 13th grade.
Spoken like someone whose parents are school teachers.
Well, my mother was big on education. Her success was always her kids having degrees. So it was her riches were different. All I'm saying is I agree it shouldn't be looked at the 13th grade, but we also should. Don't you remember you used to take, what was it called?
Business education. Or
there's some
math.
assessment, and they would kind of give you ideas of...
Yeah. It was like
give you a direction.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know if
that.
they do that anymore.
I don't think they do. I don't think they teach you how to balance a checkbook or nothing like that. Nothing.
Rest in
No
peace,
life
Mr.
skills.
Pfeiffer at TJ High School.
Oh, yeah, he was the best.
Randy G knows who I'm talking about back there. Mr. Pfeiffer, man, you learned how to balance that checkbook.
Oh, yeah.
So you got a budget shortfall. So what's up next for the county? How's that going to be handled?
Well, how much of a shortfall is it?
Well, we don't know yet. The budget hasn't come out. That will come in April 15th. On that date or before, we're seeing shortfalls from the state, and we're looking at probably less funding than usual from the federal government. And so I wouldn't say that there's exactly a shortfall at the county level, but we're certainly going to.
If you don't get money, there's a shortfall. And by the way, we never had a shortfall.
Well, I'm not surprised. I think like when you guys were commissioners,
we gave money back.
Yeah, I guess what was it? 2014. We had a pretty darn good governor who gave the counties a pretty good state budget that we didn't have to fund certain things that are historically funded by the state, right? And I'll tell you, it was the first time, maybe ever, maybe in a long time, certainly the first time since I've been sworn in that I've been serving, the county had to pick up the tab for OPEB funding, certain OPEB funding that is historically funded by the state of Maryland.
Explain what OPEB is, because most people don't.
It's other post-employee benefits, or post-employment benefits, excuse me. And again, it was $1 million that the county had to find because the state can't handle their own money.
So 1% of that.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, when we're not doing very good economically, $1 million is a big deal. And I'll say
Sure,
this.
$1 million is always a big deal.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this. I fully expect, in the article in the news post that you're talking about right now with certain state shortfalls, confirmed it. I did not vote to send the $2.5 million to the nonprofits to the food banks. I was the only member of the county council to do that. And I did it because I expect, yet again, that we're going to be on the hook for even more. And when we're sitting behind the dais in April, in May, talk about the budget, every single dollar matters. And I really would hate for us to sit behind the dais and say, man, I really wish we had $2.5 million right now, because we're on the hook for $2.5 million.
Right.
Data centers.
We can't throw our money away. We've been doing it for as long as I've been on the council, and it has to stop. We cannot keep making the same mistakes we do every single year and then throw our hands up in the air and be surprised when it comes back and bites us.
Absolutely.
Data centers.
Everyone sees it coming.
Again, I don't. You need more taxpayers, and I hope that you all can, walk and guide your way through whatever needs to be done, because they're going to bring a big windfall of reoccurring tax base to Frederick County, which most people still don't know that Frederick County is the largest landmass county in the state of Maryland.
And still, 73% undeveloped?
And I used to love when people say, Frederick County will be the next Montgomery County. Not in my lifetime.
Never.
Not my kids' lifetime. Not my grandkids' lifetime. We're not even close in terms of the rate of growth and development to get there in, what are we, about 275, 280 in terms of thousands of residents? So, I mean,
we
now.
just crossed 300,000.
Did we? There we go.
Yes,
so,
recently.
and you're talking about a county that's over 1 million. And again, our landmass structure and what's zoned in development is completely. I used to always say, if you don't like development, I can tell you where to go in terms of places that aren't growing, do not want to grow, and have very limited growth. I can tell you where not to go if you don't like growth. I would not live in that quadrant from Urbana all the way over to Lake Linganore.
Right.
And of course, the city of Frederick is reacting to what they're doing in terms of, they're having to build more apartments, multi-dwelling units, everything like that. And I'm sure you're going to hear a lot about growth in this election cycle, and you're going to hear about that during the budget cycle, about what's needed.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of growth, Governor Wes Moore, one of his big things is, one way to make housing affordable is to add more houses.
Mm-hmm.
Supply side economics.
Yep.
So have you heard anything from the governor's office about how he's going to do that?
The flow of communication is very poor. What you know, we know.
Okay.
Very, very poor. I've not spoken to Governor Moore. I've spoken to one person on his staff, maybe twice, on a whole separate issue. And I can say something that's pretty similar to the county executive. The flow of information from upstairs in Winchester Hall, where the county executive suite is, just doesn't come downstairs at the rate it should.
So, being a county council person, county councilman, what do you like first before I ask you what you dislike about it? What do you like about the position?
Learning every single day about Frederick County. I'm sure. Excuse me. I'm sure it's going to sound very funny to you guys. When I filed to run for office when I was 17, campaigning 18, I thought I knew a lot about Frederick County. I didn't. I still don't. And you're learning every single day. Nothing can prepare you to run for office, and nothing can prepare you to hold office. And so, I love learning about our history, and we have plenty of it here in Frederick County. We're very blessed for that. And so really just learning every day, having that opportunity to find something out that you didn't know yesterday, really is what I love.
What do you dislike?
I'm hesitant to say I dislike anything because I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do this. This is a once in a lifetime thing that not many people get to do, and that is not lost on me. However, what I will say is that I don't go to bed every night and wake up excited for the polarization and for the partisanship of government, and that's of course not exclusive to county government. You see that in town government. You see that at state level, at the federal level, but it's certainly happening right here at home, and we hate to see that, especially when so many things at the county level are not partisan. We just need to come together. Common sense tells us to vote this way or to do this, and we do that. But obviously, a lot of the decision-making process is marred by grandstanding and partisan politics.
Yeah, so a lot of it's driven by the party. Like if I'm in this party, I need to vote this way versus doing what's best for Frederick
or
County.
Keeping a certain person happy that represents the party. Maybe.
So I can tell you what I dislike the most. So when you roll into a meeting like data centers, when I would say, I'm going to tell you where I stand at the beginning of the meeting, because I don't want to misguide anyone, and say, right now we have tax issue, we need revenue, we need reoccurring revenue. You all have made it evidently clear that you don't want houses, you don't want more traffic, you don't want more kids in the school. Well, we have some solutions here, and this is a taxpayer that's going to add significant revenue that's going to be reoccurring that can help us. I'm all for about adding the issues with buffering, noise abatement, light abatement, even the view shed. You'll hear that term, view shed, working through all those issues. But I want to let you know that I'm for these data centers, and let's work through these issues. And man, you just get people get up there. How dare you? You're supposed to come on with an open mind. You're not supposed to make a decision. Well, if you're reading and studying in your, there are times you may not be 100%, but I just never understood why they would get upset when you get up there and be honest. This is where I stand.
Yeah, and
unless something's presented that's going to change my mind, this is where I stand.
That's exactly right. And it's good to be upfront and say, okay, based on everything I've taken in so far, this is where I am.
Yeah.
So change my mind.
Yeah.
But rarely do you have anything, and we've sat through hours upon hours upon hours of different hearings. People get up there, they get emotional, they don't stick to the facts. Mm-hmm. And that's the most important thing, is to be organized in your response to the issue in front of you, so that you have, maybe you can change someone's mind. Yeah. Just to go up there and, attack you personally and say, why do you think like that? It doesn't help the issue.
And to add on, a lot of people will look at an issue, look at a matter that we vote on, and just because we don't agree, they believe we're not listening to them. We listen to everybody. Whether you get public comment, whether you call in, whether you email us, we're reading, we're listening, and we take that very seriously. But
so
just because we don't agree doesn't mean we're not listening.
Yeah, I think the worst case ever was, I used to take notes, write down everyone's name when they announce their thing, take notes. And someone said one time, I can't believe you're up there. You're not even listening to me. You're not even looking at me. And I held up my notebook and said, because I'm taking notes. How can I not be listening to you?
People can be nasty.
Down what you're saying.
They can, I tell you right now, I had said that I would not serve on that board of education. Those people are getting pounded.
So you put me on it for 3 years.
No, I'm talking about it wasn't bad. I mean, now it's bad.
It is bad.
And that just, to me, detracts anyone that wants to serve that
out of control
particular office. So Mason, you're coming up, you're going to go for re-election. What are some of what you would call your major accomplishments as a county council person, and especially in District 5 with the people that you represent?
Yep. A major win that we got, and it certainly helps the people up in North and Thurmont, Amherstburg, where those communities are, the data tells us, older. We were able to strengthen the senior citizen tax credit to expand eligibility and to increase that benefit. Before the program, it was very, very highly used, wasn't helping enough. They weren't able to get enough off their property tax. But now, thanks to the state, something that they passed, we were able to come into the county government and strengthen that. I'm very, very happy about that. It is a much needed thing, and we've seen it taken advantage. I hear from people often about how much that's helped them.
Good.
Who started that?
Billy, it's not all about us. I'm like, give the man some credit. Jesus,
I was getting there. I was thinking.
Come on.
No, but it's good to hear.
Let the man speak.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's still working.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like, you think about, like, we looked at every tax.
We've been gone for 10 years. We're relics. I don't think they want us back.
They finally upgraded.
They do not want us back, Billy.
I get people asking every day when we're coming back. But, that no one ever thought of senior citizen tax credit. What they thought about was a extra tax on trailers, because people in trailers need extra taxes. So we got rid of that.
Hell are you talking?
Remember they had
Yes, I understand, but
on trailers? So it was crazy.
I understand. So, but Bruce Reeder really advocated for it, and we were able to get it implemented. And as far as I know, future administrations have expanded. Is that correct, Mason?
Yes.
That's correct.
All right. Give some due, man. Some due.
I am. I'm saying it's good that they're doing it. It's good that they expanded it.
All right. What? Anything else, Mason? We're going to wrap up next 5 minutes. I want to make sure you're able to get out any points you wanted before we get out of here.
What I'm very proud of as well, and it was a major part of my campaign, and it's been a constant theme throughout my first term, is transparency and openness.
Okay.
I'm very proud to say that I have voted for 0 closed session meetings. 0. We've actually even gone as far, through some efforts of mine, to open the government even more, right? Because if a government is to be of, for, and by the people, it must first be open to the people. And so now we interview candidates for the planning commission in open session.
Okay.
We allow the people of our county, the people who watch our meetings, come to our meetings, listen to our meetings, we allow them to have a meaningful involvement, meaningfully with us when we make those decisions. I expanded public comment. We used not to have public comment before workshop meetings in the beginning. We only had it at the end. It was not congruent to the needs of the people that were in our community. We shouldn't make them wait to the end of the meeting when these meetings can go 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And just for them to speak for 3 minutes, that's not right. We put them at the beginning of the meeting.
How do you feel about that guy that drew the thing, you know what I'm talking about, right? I don't want to get in there where he...
Yeah, I know exactly who you're speaking of.
We talked about him on the last show, and apparently his trial was going to jury, and he did not fool around. He hired a Babe Ruth type of attorney that is going to represent him in that particular case. Mm-hmm. So
I'm not familiar with any of his cases. I'm familiar with him. I know Mr. Porter. What I will say is that I am a very big First Amendment absolutist. I believe anybody has the full right to come into our meeting, to go onto the street right outside of 410 North Market, and say whatever he or she chooses to do, chooses to say. So I support his First Amendment right. I don't have to agree with what he says, which I don't really know if I do. I don't know if I don't. What matters is that we protect his right to speak freely.
But do you really think the Founding Fathers, when they crafted that they thought that someone would come before George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams and say, hey, George, you're the shaft or you're the head? And
well, I will tell you that
he probably got shot.
The founders did think about what they weren't allowed to say, do, or express themselves when they were under British control.
Sure.
And so maybe not, using the certain words and expressions that Mr. Porter uses, but they certainly had the idea.
Well, I definitely think he could convey his point using it in a different manner, being respectful to women and kids. But, sure. I'm all about the First Amendment, but at the same time there's a balance there. We have made government far more open and accessible that a 3-year-old could be listening to that in their living room. So I don't know.
A lot of times kids do listen to it.
Because you all bleeped it out, right? And then you all had to come back and remove the bleeps or something like that? Or was that the city?
I believe that to be true. But I will say that we ought to be very careful when we decide what speech we can and cannot allow. We get into a very slippery slope at that point. I think it's probably best for us, as written very clearly in the Constitution, that we allow free speech to run free.
All right. So,
speech freely.
What's your second term initiatives that you're going to be running on for re-election? Just continuation of the first?
Well, we're going to continue to harp on transparency and openness. We want to see more interviews for directors, for planning commission, for board of appeals, the very important quasi-judicial bodies, have them in public so that our community can be involved and have meaningful discussions with us about who they want to see and who they don't want to see on those boards. We also really need to look at our budget, really. And we need some more Republicans. We need some more conservatives to help me up there. I have raised over 85 amendments to the budget to cut funds, to fund tax decreases, but it has not been the will of my other council members to join me in that. We're going to continue fighting. We're not going to allow those losses, those shortfalls stop us from coming to work every day and doing what we think is best for our county, our community, and our budget. We're going to go full steam ahead. We're going to cut money. We're going to do what's right. We're going to lower taxes, and it's going to happen.
You got one more?
I got 2 questions.
Go for it.
So how can people find out more about you if they want to contact you?
Absolutely. My email is all over online. If you have a government-related question that my office can help you with, you can find my profile on the Frederick County government website at frederickcountymd.gov. My email is mcarter@frederickcountymd.gov. Please email us if you have any questions, if you want to know if you're eligible for certain tax credits. We can put you in the right direction. If I'm not the right person to answer your question, we can put you in the right direction. We know the people who do. And if you're looking for political campaign-related questions, to help, to volunteer, to donate, which we'll take your money. We'll certainly also take your time if you want to knock doors, wave signs. You can go to my Facebook. That's Mason Carter for Frederick County, and you can get in touch with me there through instant message. My phone number is on there somewhere. My email is on there. It's mason4council@gmail.com. That's Mason, FOR, council@gmail.com.
One more question.
Yep.
You talk about being a fiscal conservative. Now, one thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but Steve McKay has always been there and been pretty fiscally conservative, hasn't he?
Yes, he's been a good ally. When it comes to the budget, he's been in lockstep with me on, I would probably say 90%. That's pretty comfortable putting it. 90% of our budget amendments, our items, he's been a good ally. I really appreciate his service to Frederick County. This is not something for everybody. It takes a special person to sit in there, take the punches, and keep a smile on your face and come back to work the next day.
And you think the guy signed up in his district now would continue that kind of path?
You talking about Kai? Kai Burhans?
Burhans.
Well, we're gonna have Kai on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
We're gonna invite people, Republican, Democrat, Green Party, Independent. They're filed for office. We're gonna have them on. We're gonna have the person that's filed on the Democrat side against you on.
pronouns. No pronouns.
Well, that's up to you.
All right.
Billy goes by it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, to answer their question, Kai Burhans has my full faith and confidence that he would step in on day one and do really great things. Not only fiscally but socially as well. I think that he'd be in lockstep with us on cutting spending, creating a hierarchy of needs. That's one of his campaign points, which I think is very interesting, and all with the goal of lowering taxes and making Frederick County more affordable. He has, again, my full faith and confidence that he would do that on day one.
All right. Well, like I said, we're going to have you're the first official guest of the Last of the Good Old Boys with Blaine Young and, of course, Billy Shreve. And we appreciate you being on. Like I said, we will have a lot of guests on the podcast. We're live Wednesdays from 6 to 7 here at Studio 401 right in downtown Frederick. You can come join us anytime you like. Stop in, have a cup of coffee. We might be able to find one of those old bottles back there, a Thunderbird or Mad Dog or something. But we're here. But Mason, I want to thank you very much for coming on, and I'm sure we'll have you on in the future.
Absolutely. Always more than happy. It's always great to see you, too.
All right. Well, for
coming.
Mason Carter, County Council Member Mason Carter, Billy Shreve, I'm Blaine Young. Everyone have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you real soon.